Hello, everybody. Welcome to another OSINT Curious live stream. Oh, Nix, we are back, and it's great tonight.
Just you and I, but you know what? I think we're still going to have a good time.
I think we're going to have a great time. Welcome to everybody. I'm Micah Hoffman, the president of OSINT Curious. This is my good friend, Stephen Harris, otherwise known as nixintel. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm really looking forward to tonight once again.
Yeah, definitely. And we are the OSINT Curious Project, or two of the members of OSINT Curious. For those of you that don't know us, we are trying to teach people about open source intelligence, all the ways to gather open source intelligence, all the ways to process it, and really break down some of the barriers through these live streams so that you can try some of the things yourself. I read a really neat quote yesterday, Stephen, from Hatless Wonder that said, I'll paraphrase, it said essentially that when we teach, we should be breaking down the barriers so that other people go, yeah, I can try that. And I thought that was really eloquently put. Hey, Cherry, welcome. Welcome. For those of you that don't know us, we are a nonprofit based in the United States. Down below, scrolling on the screen, is our website, our handle that we use on most websites, and the Searchlight Discord, where you can come and talk with us even when we're not here doing these live streams. Also, if you'd consider supporting us financially, please consider becoming a patron. And we're also always looking for corporate sponsors or other sponsors for larger amounts. And please subscribe to our channel. All right. Well, I'm excited here. This is going to be fun, Nix. I am really, really excited for this. I've been wanting to do like a Linux kind of show for a while, and this is just perfect timing. Before we do that, let's see who's online. So yesterday, well, I'll let you know something. So we live stream using a program called StreamYard, which Nix and I log into, and then it broadcasts us out to Twitch, to Twitter and Periscope, and to YouTube. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't combine your comments. So people commenting on YouTube are not going to see the Twitch users' comments. So Nix and I will do our best to tell you and rebroadcast the comments from the different platforms when they're relevant. But I want to know who's out there. Cherry, I see that Cherry RFC's there again, so thank you for coming back. Anybody else out there, go ahead and feel free to type in your comments and just say hello to us. We always like to know who is going to help us on this wonderful adventure that we're going to be doing for the next hour. Nix, I think what we're going to probably do is start off with some Geoguessr. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's a good warm up. It gets you in the mood, and it's fun. And we did really well yesterday, didn't we? So we've set a precedent now.
I know, and I'm feeling like we might have set the bar a little too high, but we're going to do our best here. Oh, well, no problem. Oh, hey, we got Nemec here. Dan, what's up, man? Hatless Wonder. I just quoted you, brother. I probably misquoted you, but Connor, welcome back. And Abdullah Monim, welcome. Thanks for showing up today. I'm really looking forward to this. So for those of you that are just joining us, we are going to play our warm-up game, which is the Geoguessr. Hey, Tig Diaz. Geoguessr is our warm-up game, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to figure out where in the world this website puts us. And to do that, we definitely need your help, because Stephen and I are getting better at this, but we also know that you probably have some expertise to bring in here too. So Connor, if you want to play the daily challenge at the same time, you could do that. Absolutely. But if you've already done the Geoguessr daily challenge, please wait until we complete each of the different 5 challenges before you chime in and maybe tell us how you found the state, the country, or the location where we're at. Also, the rules are scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Please do not look up anything using your Googles or Bings or other search engines. We always only want to use our brains. And if you play the daily challenge at the same time we play the daily challenge, we will be playing together. Cool. Ready, Nix?
Yep, ready to roll. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so we are playing the daily challenge here on this website. Let's just click that, make sure we're logged in. Now, this is our score from the past couple of days. Next, we 15,900, 21,000, 20,000. So I'm still looking for anything above 20,000.
Okay.
Hey, Jasmine, welcome. Jasmine, sorry. Here we go. All right, 5 rounds, 3 minutes per round. If you're going to help us out, figure out where in the world we are, please, in the chat, go ahead and tell us where you think we are, but also why. Hey, I just saw a flag that shows Argentina, or that license plate said Mexico, or whatever. Cool. All right, here we go. Here we go. Ooh, a smart car. Look at that.
Okay.
A shortened smart car. All right.
So somewhere flat looks kind of hot.
Yeah,
And
flat, low houses.
as well.
All right, so we see bus stop up here. Oh, no, that's South America.
Leclerc, that is a French supermarket.
Really? Leclerc?
Yeah.
Aha.
I only know that from having traveled to France, but
okay. Oh, and there's something over there. Roadie?
France.
What does that say? Roadie.
Central
Auto.
Center Auto.
All right, let's zoom down here and see what we can see. So I am seeing the orange tiled roofs, which always makes me think about Europe. We are driving on the right-hand side of the road. I'm going backwards. So that could be France. Could be France. There's a blue sign up here. Let's see if we can see these signs. I love these signs. Let's see what we see. Centro. Ooh, okay. This doesn't look like...
That doesn't look French.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Despite the Leclerc supermarket sign.
Here we got a Modelo too. I'm thinking South America, or no, maybe Spain or something like that.
It could be Spain.
Ooh, Diego says Brazil. Why Brazil, Diego? Tell us why. Tigdias Portuguese, okay.
Nova Ford Ranger.
Ford Ranger, do they have those over there? It is Portuguese, okay. Now, question is, where in Portugal? Let's see if we can find something. Let's zoom down here.
There's some more signs. There's a little junction there. So,
yep. All right. So we've got 1 minute 16 left because I'm from there. Okay, Diego. That's good enough for me. Experience.
You cannot beat local knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's a sign right here. Let's see where we are.
Lisbon. That's
Lisboa. Okay. And Peniche Obitus. I know I'm
Lisboa is the capital of Portugal.
Yes.
So we've got a sign for the A15.
So Lisboa is Lisbon, is that right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's Portuguese for them.
And these are the A13s. There's the A15 up here. And there's Peniche Obitus. All right, we got 39 seconds. So like over here, maybe?
Yeah, in that kind of area, I guess.
I don't know. We're gonna try that. Let's see. Porto is 200. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Let's see. 9 kilometers. Good call on that A15 there. Yeah, well done. All right. So it was Portugal. Thank you very much for Diego. I appreciate that. Now, one of the things that we always like to do is try to get better at this. And we have been learning. I swear we have. So what we're going to be doing is using the geotips.net website to just kind of learn more about the countries. So we're going to pick over here. Now, this is geotips.net. I'm going to just throw it in here. And we're going to go to Portugal. And let's see. We didn't see a flag. Lisbon. We saw the Lisboa, right? As a city. Bollards. No. Road lines. Okay, there's the Lisboa. So that was something that was like, aha. And then Nix, you said A15, which allowed us to find a big reference on the map. One of the things that I'm finding is when somebody says, oh, there's a city and it's like a really small town or something like that, it's hard to locate it on the map really quickly. So thanks for calling out the road.
Big cities and big roads just make life easier.
Yep. All right. Now this is interesting. Didn't Ines said that that in Portuguese they don't have this character over top of the O, or it's not a, I don't know.
Or was it Spanish, or was it Portuguese that they did and Spanish that they didn't? I can't remember. We'll have to ask her.
I think it was the other way around, but I don't know.
Tig Diaz says in chat says that they do.
You do. Okay. Thank you. Here we have Portugal. They are a member of the EU, so they have the EU license plates that are quite wide. We didn't even look at license plates. We were driving on the right-hand side of the road. That's something that can help us out. Again, gorgeous country here. Let's go all the way down to the bottom where the alphabet is. Here's the alphabet, and we don't see that character, but if Tigdias and Diego and other people say it is, then yeah, that's the... Okay, Spanish has that character over the N. Is that it, Tigdias? It's that Portugal doesn't use it over the N? I'm trying to figure out what the... Okay. Okay, cool. So if we see that character over top of an N, then we think Spanish or, you know, Mexico or one of the Latin American countries. But if we see it over the A or the O, then Portuguese. Perfect. Thank you. That helps us get smarter. That was a really good first round, though. Okay, cool. Thanks, Tigdias. Thanks, Diego. All right, here we go. Round number 2. All right, I'm seeing mountain, and we see some palm trees. So I'm thinking, right off the bat, I'm thinking like somewhere tropical, like Philippines or
Southeast Asia, or
let's see, is there? Let's go up here.
South America either.
Say that again.
It could be South America, or let's keep going. Let's get some more clues.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a sign right over here. Oh no, yeah, it is South.
Oh no, is that
Angel
Japanese?
Waterfall?
Japanese or Korean
or
Chinese?
Well, it wouldn't be Japanese because we'd be driving on the other side of the road.
That is correct. So,
all right. So, now we are driving on the other side of the road. That's not confusing at all. All right. Let's reach out to our international audience. Anybody recognize these characters? Where are they from? They definitely look, well, they're definitely Asian, but which Asian country? This is tough. So I'm thinking something like not Japan. Well, wait, that car passed us on the right? Yeah, I'm thinking Taiwan, maybe.
Could be.
I'm thinking Taiwan because I think Taiwan drives on the left, drives on the right hand side, just like we do here. All right.
Dan's saying not Korean.
Not Korean. Okay. So Dan, if it's not Korean, yeah, definitely Chinese. I don't think China is in here, but I understand they use Chinese in many other cultures. So let's keep going down here. All right. Let's see what kind of car that is. That is an I don't know car. That is an awesome car.
Is it an Outlander, Mitsubishi Outlander, maybe?
Is it? Let's see.
Possibly. I'll have to see it from the front. I don't know.
Yep. Mitsubishi it is.
Yeah, it's Mitsubishi Outlander.
Okay. So would you say maybe Taiwan?
I guess so.
Would you be okay with that if I tried that?
Yeah, then I mean the climate and everything looks looks right. So
all right, let's try and let's see. Yeah, because it's mountainous too.
Yeah, mountainous jungle.
I don't even know where we are, but all right, we'll just go here and see what happens. Yeah. Mandarin. All right, well, let's see where we are. Hey, all right.
Hey, awesome.
Nice. 109 kilometers away. That I will take. All right, so let's learn a little bit about Taiwan and figure out how we got here. So first off, we're looking on the left or right hand side of the road. And I remember from the last time we did the geo tips that one of the discriminators I was using is for Japan. You see that they drive on the left-hand side of the road, but over here in the Philippines and Taiwan on the right. And one of the things that we also found was a tropical climate with palm trees and mountains, which are sometimes not in the same area. And we were on a road and we saw the Asian language, maybe Mandarin and stuff like that. Yeah, it is hard, Cherry. And, you know, that very well could have been Vietnam or Cambodia or whatever. But yeah, it just kind of felt like a hunch. Let's learn a little bit about Taiwan just for our sake here. There's their flag. We didn't see any flags. We saw the traffic and we saw the electric poles. Okay, so we did see some signs like this. Well, we saw some signs.
Yeah.
All right. And we saw the electric poles, but I'm finding that the electric poles are just not really that helpful to me.
No, they're not always consistent.
Yeah. All right. License plates. All right. We didn't see that. Okay, so Dia says, a dumb question. How do you guys tell which camera of the Google car you're seeing? I mean, how do you tell which side of the car is driving when no other cars are around? That's a really great question, Tigdias. And so the question is, when I say we're driving on the right-hand side or the left-hand side of the road, with the Google cars, we can move forward and backwards. What we need is that other point of reference. So when I saw a car passing us on the left-hand side, I knew that we drove on the right-hand side. But without that reference, it would be really, really hard, except you could tell by the signs which way the signs are facing, right? If you're going down a road and you're driving on the right-hand side, more of the signs that are going to be on the right-hand side facing you versus on the left-hand side facing you. So that's something else that I would use. All right, so vegetation and landscape. Let's go down here, and then let's see what they have for the language. Mandarin. Who said Mandarin? There you go, Jasmine. Yeah,
that was good
well
call.
done. All right, we're crushing it again. Now here's where it gets harder because we're gonna mess up. I swear. All right, here we go. They're gonna put us in like Australia, and we have a train.
Oh man!
Wow, this is freshly poured. Look at that. That is odd. All right, so saguaro cactuses. Ooh, so we're maybe upper Mexico,
or southern United States.
Arizona. That sign is not an American sign from what I know about like roads, but let's see if we can go down here and find another thing. The arrow was just too fat, I think. Okay, so we're driving on the right-hand side of the road, yep. I think. Yeah, because these signs right here, this is what I was saying to Diaz. These signs are pointing that way. So to see them, we would need to be on this side, which means that, so okay. I think we're on the right-hand side of the road. I'm thinking Mexico. Let's see what this sign says up here. It is a blank white sign. What the heck? Why would you put a white sign there? Wow. Yeah, and it's pretty barren too. Look at this.
Yeah. So, dry, it's hot.
Dry and hot.
Because we had northern Mexico yesterday, and that was really, really flat.
It was. And here's some signs, but I think they're just the turns coming. We missed it. All right. Well, yeah, see, this is what they do. They're like, oh, you found that Taiwan pretty easy, Micah. Well, watch this. All right. So cars. Let's see. License plate. I can't tell. Doesn't even look like it has a license plate. Rolling hills. If I had to guess right now, I'd say northern Mexico, but I don't know.
Yeah, that would be my guess. It's hard to dig out that.
Let's see if we have
information, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like a really new road as well.
It is. It is. All right, so we have 1 minute left. Let's see. Okay, there's water. Hey, that's neat. And that looks like an ocean, right?
Yep, it's not a lake.
Okay, so an ocean. Let's see. Anything on this truck?
It's blank. Like
it's a blank truck. Who drives a blank truck? It could be Nevada. Yeah. Wait, it can't be Nevada with that big lake and that big water right there, unless it's like Hoover Dam type of thing. But I do. All right, we got 36 seconds.
So it's either west or east coast of Mexico. What do we think?
Yeah, I'm thinking over here, or I'm thinking over here.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, like right there.
It makes sense.
Baja California or down here. I kind of want to go souther. All right, we're gonna try this. I should have gone souther. Oh wow, that was good though. That was really good.
That was not bad.
Yeah.
So the rationale was right. It's just the.
Yep, we were on the water. The signs didn't look like English, like American signs. The arrows were too fat for me. All of the signs were white and the trucks were white. Why would they do this? All right. So that was not bad. Yeah, it was close. It was close. That's right. Okay, so let's take a look at Mexico. So we didn't see any flags. That was not helpful. But that was a really new road, wasn't it? Yeah. All right, so we were over here on the very tip of that peninsula. Let's see. Google car, bollards. Do we see any bollards? I don't think so. The road was super new.
It was one of the most featureless geoguesses.
There were no stop signs. There were no other signs with the Mexican,
bare road, empty ocean.
Right. And we didn't see any speed limit signs either.
No.
Which would have told us United States or Mexico. But see, this was what I was talking about. The arrows are just way fatter on the signs, and that was just a gut thing. All right. Yeah, having a map would be nice. Yeah, I don't know, Cherry. Maybe there are white signs or something like that. Maybe it says that. All right, we didn't see any license plates. Hang on. Here's the phones. And
yeah, okay.
We did see the vegetation like this. The cactuses. We didn't see any corona. That would have been good. All right. Yeah, north of Mexico is basically a giant desert. That's really helpful to know. All right. And the sky folds on top. I don't even know that. All right. So that was not bad. I'll take it. All right, here we go. Hey, we're doing good. I agree, Jasmine. We rock. Let's keep going.
We're on a roll.
Okay, so there's big water over there. This feels Scandinavian, just right off the bat. Oh, and what does that say? Arrête? So that's maybe French?
French. That's French for stop. I don't know if, or is that Spanish for that too? But that kind of, maybe it's Quebec, because to me, like, that looks North American.
Okay. Yeah, and you see the pine trees here, and this kind of looks like north. Yeah, French Canada, maybe even farther north than that. Let's see. What does this say? Who's selling this? Remax. Yeah, that's definitely. Look at her name, Carive Marquis Avandra. So I think, yeah, French Griffin, absolutely. Ex Death Knight. So we are in a place where there is big water. It's up north, and look, we can see the other side over there. I'm not sure over there.
Kind.
So would we say, like, let's see, hang on, let's go over here. So I'm thinking East Coast, like over, where are we? Ottawa, like Quebec, like over, like here maybe?
Well, I didn't realize how big Quebec was. Man.
Yeah. Is Newfoundland French speaking, or are we down here?
I think Newfoundland is English speaking, and that only Quebec is French, I think.
All right.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
See, here's the poles. It's like a pole. I'm not sure that's really helpful. But here we see the pine trees instead of deciduous trees. It's very dry and sandy. This kind of does look like more like a bay or inlet than than the ocean. Is that a flag on the left? I don't know. Let's see. This blue thing. Let's see. Maybe that is a flag. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's kind of a flag, but I don't know what it's for. It's blue, and they have a lattice. I don't know. Let's see if there's any signs.
So maybe Hudson Bay. That's
Quebec?
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's northern end of Quebec.
Oh, Quebec area code. Okay.
Yeah.
So would we say like maybe over here?
Or the northern end of Quebec.
Oh, so all up here. I think you're right, because it's more big, open, wide spaces. Quebec based on the flag. All right, Death Knight, here we go.
Let's do it.
Oh, it was more southern, but hey, we were still in, let's see, we were still in Quebec. Yep. Hey, you know what? We got the right country. We got the right province. I'm counting that as a win. Very good. And we're under 1,000 kilometers away. Cool. Yeah, that was not bad at all. Thank you for helping with the narrowing it down piece. Let's see, for Canada, we didn't see this, but we saw, where's the, good call. Who said that? Churi said it was a Quebec flag. Jasmine said it was a Quebec flag. Absolutely right. We saw this, the fleur-de-lis with the blue things. That was very good. Good call. And we saw the French on the signs. That way, and everything was in French. So that was automatically, we were in some place that was north and French. And the north part was because of the trees, because of the way the land looked as well. Well done. All right, so we've got some. We didn't see any signs like that. Seeing a sign for Ontario would have helped. All right. Here we're dealing with kilometers. Okay, that's good. Yeah, Rebecca, this is kind of fun.
Oh yeah, we had the arrête sign, didn't we?
Yes, and that was another thing that we saw is noticing the signs, whatever words were. In fact, even that Remax sign for the sale sign had French everything on it, so that was good. We're doing pretty well here. All right, cool. And the area codes. Now, I think Jasmine said it was a area code for Quebec, which is up here, 418-367 or 581. Yeah. Well done, people. All right. And here we've got some things. Oh, no alphabet. Oh, Canada uses English and French. Cool. All right. Let's get on here. We are on round number 4 or 5. Oh, this is the last round. All right.
One.
So we are looking northern. I'm seeing these.
Northern.
Yep. And wow, gorgeous area. So I'm thinking a northern area. It could be South America in the mountains. Let's see. I don't know. Those mountains look pretty big. Here's a sign.
Scandinavia. No, the road's too messy for Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Everything's like.
Well, wait a second. It could be Scandinavia.
Scarborough.
Abacta, Scarborough. You know what? I'm thinking Sweden
or Norway.
Yeah. Let's see if we can. Oh, and that sign's on the right-hand side of the road. This was, again, it's facing us here on the right-hand side. So we're driving on the right-hand side of the road. Water over here. Of course, we just saw that there was a boat. So that doesn't really surprise us. Shouldn't surprise us. All right. Yeah, it looks Scandinavian. You're right. All right. And yeah, look at this. Wow, this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Is that a flag? That's Norway? This flag?
It's more like the Norwegian flag, but that's like a blue. Norwegian flag is a blue and white cross on a red background.
Okay, so that could it be Denmark?
Not. Denmark is a white cross on a red background. So I'm not sure what that one is.
Okay.
It was more like the Norwegian flag.
30. I'm just going to keep going down the road here. Let's see. Wow, gorgeous country. Diego says great. Norway. What did you say?
So this looks great. Let's go there.
Yeah, exactly. This is definitely making me want to travel. Look at these mountains. Wow. And the water. All right, we got 1 minute, 14 seconds. Yeah, Norway. Based upon that.
Yeah, let's go Norway.
Okay, but let's see. So we have, Norway, water, and mountains. That shouldn't be too hard. All right, hang on. Is there anything else down this road? Yeah, it definitely looks beautiful. I'm not seeing it. All right. But it looks like, all right, so we have a very tall peak over here. Yeah. We have water here, and we see that. So there's almost like an inlet over here. Let's see if we can just figure out a place.
Of which there are about 1 million in Norway.
Yeah, exactly. How about, I think it's more lush. So I'm going south, like over here. Yeah.
We're just going to have to put it somewhere near an inlet somewhere.
All right, here we go. Oh, it was north. Darn it. But we got the right country, people. Yeah. I'm taking it as a win. Absolutely. Yeah, so let's go look at Norway. Wow. So we saw the K's in the words, and the K's were like, all right, that could be Norway or Sweden. Then from there, what else did we see? We saw northernmost things. We saw water. And we also saw a flag. We didn't see that flag, though, right?
No, it was similar to that, but not quite.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it didn't have the cross. It had the police
single line.
Jeepers. All right. So the roads, bollards, we didn't really see the car stuff. We didn't see any signs, which would have been helpful. Poles, yeah, we saw them. Let's see. Phone numbers. We didn't see any signs for. Oh, wow. Look at that. Jeez.
Well, Connor apparently saw the flag. He's saying he saw it.
What?
We missed it.
You saw that flag? Okay, well, cool. Yeah. All right. So here we have the alphabet. And it looks Very. Oh, it looks very similar to just regular regular alphabets like English languages, except for there's the 0 and the O with the line through it, and these other characters down here. But we didn't see any of those, did we? Okay.
No, we did just for that fairy sign. That was it.
All right. Let's just see. Did we pass 20,000 today? I don't think we did. 19. So close. But again, I'm taking it as a win because every single one of our responses was in the correct country. Now, I think Connor was saying, hey, we should maybe one day do this country streak thing where you just have to identify what country you're in. I think that would be really fun. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, Connor.
Yeah. We'd smash that. He said.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
He said before then. Yeah.
Cool. 19. Yeah, 19,000 is good. Yeah, we did have some tough ones in there, but again, it was a good showing by everybody. Well done. And thank you for your help too. I mean, Tigdias, Diego with the Portuguese and other ones. It was truly a group effort. All right. Well, that was a half-hour warm-up. I think we got to stop calling those warm-ups because we go half hour long. But that is half of our show. We are the OSINT Curious Project. This is Stephen Harris, nixintel, and I am Micah Hoffman, webbreacher. And we are talking today about some command line tools. Now, Nix, we are always getting questions about what is the best tool for this? What is the best tool for that? And people want tools. But I think today one of the things that you're going to probably do is not show them the OSINT collecting tools, but maybe some of the command line tools on Linux systems that can make their lives easier. Is that right?
That's what we're going to do. So, like you say, people always ask us for tools, and we always say, don't worry about tools, learn about methodology first. But we're going to ignore that today because we're going to look at
That's right.
tools. So, I guess most people have maybe not used Linux before, or they've only used it for in a virtual machine, for example, which we talk about quite a lot. But what people aren't necessarily aware of is that within Linux, there are already a lot of tools that you can use to make your OSINT life an awful lot easier. I think in coding, they talk about don't repeat yourself, and it's the same when you're developing tools. Someone has already made a ton of tools out there, and we're going to learn how to use them.
And some of these tools, Nix, are 30 and 40 years old. They've evolved over the years, but they are solid tools that if you know 5 or 10 of them, you can be extremely powerful. And so you're going to show us that today, right?
Yep. So I remember ages and ages ago, before I joined the OSINT Curious project, I was interviewed, and I remember it was Kirby was interviewing me saying, why do you use command line tools? Why not use a GUI? And the reason is, you can do a lot more with command line once you've learned how to use it. So you can scale things, you can do things quite fast, and as we'll see, you can edit your output to do whatever you want for your project. So by the end of 20 minutes or so, you will never want to go back to GUI tool ever again. Just kidding.
Awesome.
But
that is incredible. We're going to hold you to that. So before Nick's get into it, let me just show you in our sample VM. This is a VM that I created. What Steven's going to show is there's a thing called the terminal. And when you go in Linux into the terminal or in Windows, there's the Windows subsystem for Linux, and you can run Linux tools, or in Macs, they have a terminal too. So the tools that Nix is going to show you work in probably Linux, Mac, and Windows now, which makes it extremely powerful. So that's the command line or the terminal window. I'm going to hand this over to you, Nix. I'm going to let you go ahead and drive. Show us some stuff.
Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is look at a very, very simple tool called Dig. What Dig does is, if you are investigating a website of any kind, it will show you the IP address for that website or that domain that you're investigating. Dig has been around forever, but it works really well. And whatever flavor of Linux you're using, you'll be able to enter Dig, and then you can enter something like stick for domain. I use the BBC website, and we get this whole load of information back, which tells us the IP addresses that the BBC website uses.
Okay, so that dig tool is querying DNS or the domain name server system, and it's resolving that bbc.co.uk to 4 IP addresses. Why 4 IP addresses? Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's for, you often find that with the big organizations because they have so much sort of redundancy and such large infrastructure. They will often have more than one, or they use content delivery networks as well, which is a separate topic we'll talk about. But those IP addresses is where you will find all the resources that link to bbc.co.uk. So that's a really, really quick way of doing it. And if you've used a website like View DNS or MX Toolbox, you can do that in a GUI. But I'll show you how we can clean this data up a little bit and turn it into something that's really, really useful. So you see, when I did that lookup there, we got all this information here, which we're kind of not really interested in. It's there if you want to diagnose a fault or something like that, but it's not all that useful. But what we can do in Linux is when we run a command, and if you push the up arrow, you can always just bring back your last command. We can tweak the output of a command to get the data that we want. So with this, I'm going to use another common little Linux tool, Linux command, which is called grep. And grep is like a search engine, or it's a way of kind of, not search engine, but of searching documents, searching files, searching text, and pulling out or chopping out bits of information that you want. It's for finding things within your operating system. So we only want, at the end of this, by the way, we're going to have a nice CSV spreadsheet with a ton of domains and IP addresses on for our investigation. So I'm going to pull out the data I want with grep. So if I type grep, and then I'm going to search for this term in here, and it will just bring me back. You see, this time I've got much less data. I haven't got all this noise. I've still got a bit of noise here. You see, I've got this semicolon, which I don't really want, and this incomplete record here. But it's got rid of all the noise around that by using grep just to match that to in. So you see how I got that.
So let's walk through this. So you essentially use the dig command, ran dig. It gave you the exact output at the top, but instead of showing it on the screen, you use the pipe character, that vertical bar, to send the output of dig into the input of grep. So you said, hey, don't show me this. I want you to find all the lines that have in it in capital letters. It did that, and that's what it showed you.
Yeah.
So you've chained two tools together.
Yep, and we're going to chain probably about 4 or 5 tools together to get our nice polished document. So this is a great thing. There's no limit, so we can chain as many things together as we want to get what we want.
Can I show you something real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I'm typing this in our private chat. Can you type that into the Slack and then substitute the bbc.co.uk? Because one of the things that I know is that each command that we run has many different many different options. In fact, the dig command, you can turn off all output with the plus no all, and then turn on just the answer. And what it will do is it'll give you that output there, and you don't have to send it through grep.
There you go.
Cool. And this is one of the things. Some of you are like, wait, what? How do you know that? And some of this is experimentation. Some of it is just 30 years of learning and stuff. But the thing is that there's many ways to do the same things that Nix is going to do here. There's many ways that you can accomplish this. There's no right way. So Nix, back to you. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there.
No, that's fine. So what was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, Lego, it's a bit of a cliche, but Linux has been compared to like a set of Lego in terms of you can just put them together in whatever way you want to build whatever you want. And that's a really smart way of doing that. But to filter out other... Griffin's asked a question, is grep case sensitive? Yes, it is, but you can... there's an I flag, which I'm not going to use, but there's a lowercase I, and then if you put your search term after that, it ignores the case. So you can tell it to ignore the case if you want. So, and then we can do like the opposite of finding. And we're now going to tell grep using the V flag to filter out everything that doesn't match something. So I had this random little semicolon up here and this useless line. I can tell it to look to do that and miss out the semicolon. And if I run that again, you see how let me change my resolution slightly. There we go. That's better. You see, we've got rid of this extra line here, and you can do this with kind of any data output to tidy up and do what you want. But what we want to do is to turn this into a CSV file. And anyone know what CSV file? The C in CSV file stands for is comma separated variables. So we need to turn these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns of data we've got. We've got the domain name, some extra data here in the middle, and the IP address. And so we're going to use a different Linux command, which is called translate, or TR. And this, we're going to tell it to match, to substitute one kind of character for another. And there is probably another way to do this too. So use TR.
There always is. There always is.
There's always at least 5 different ways to do things.
Yep.
So we're going to use TR with the S flag, which is for, I forget what it stands for. It's like, I've forgotten. It's to do with substituting it. So we're going to tell it to substitute all the blank spaces that are in between these columns. I will remember how to spell blank, not blank.
We use a B. There you go. You were spelling it in Norwegian. Huh?
Oh yeah, and everything in Linux is very sensitive to spelling and cases, so the chances of making a mistake are high. So we're going to tell it to separate out every blank space and then replace those blank spaces with a comma instead. So now you can see we've got, with our output, we've got rid of those big column spaces, and we've now basically got a CSV file. We've got rows and columns of data all separated by columns. So I'm going to do a little bit more on this, but so with our output there, we want a nice spreadsheet that we can take away, we can share with our colleagues that we're working on, and so on. So all we're going to do that is, someone's asked a question, is there a reason why the number values change with each command, 76, 1, 2, 130? I think, and I have to check, it's to do with how long it takes to answer the query, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that varies, but that data is irrelevant, and I'm going to show you how to cut that data out in a moment. So the last command that we're going to chain together here is called T. And what T does, if you think about plumbing, like if you have a T-shaped pipe where you have one input and 2 outputs at the other end, the T command does that. So we're going to feed it this whole long chain of commands. In the input of all those commands will go out. One will go out to the CSV spreadsheet that we're creating, and the other output will stay in the terminal. So we can see what we're doing, but we will also then have a nice file to work with on the desktop. And so we use T, I'll use A for append, and then we'll call this file, we'll call IP lookup.csv.
All right. So, Nix, before you hit enter there, just let me see if I get this. You are using the dig command to do a DNS resolution of the bbc.co.uk site. When that response comes back, you're then sending the output to grep, just looking for those lines with a capital I, capital N. Then you're sending that to grep, and you're trying to exclude any lines that have the semicolon. Then you're sending that to a thing that's going to replace any spaces with commas. Then you're sending that to something that's going to send it to a file.
Yep, and this will leave us with a spreadsheet. It looks a bit bulky, this command, but the main sort of takeaway of it from is any data you get in a Linux system, you have to often, to work with it again, you have to learn to clean it. And that's true working with any kind of data. It's always messy, it's always untidy. You want to take fields out, you want to add stuff in, you want to change formatting, and that's all these commands are doing. So if I hit enter here, then obviously that's the output in the terminal. And if I list the contents of the directory, you can see there we've got our CSV file, IP lookup, which will have all that stuff in. So for one domain, which is all we've done there, like that's quite maybe a quite convoluted way of working through it all. But I said the advantage of doing stuff on the command line is that you can automate stuff and repeat it, and you can work with an awful lot of things very quickly. So just let me clear all this here so it's a little bit clearer. So you'll see here I had a file called top100domains.txt. So what I'm going to show you now is how to use the exact same set of commands that we put together, but we're going to add a couple of lines to automate it, and we're going to repeat that same process over and over and over again until we have not the IP address of one domain, but we're going to have the IP addresses for 100 domains that I put together. So I'll just show you what that file looks like so you get an idea of what we're going to do.
So you're going to take that exact same type of thing that you did right now and then essentially run that multiple times so that you get output files and you get those lookups in CSV format for 100 domains.
Yep. So
right. Do that.
And this is, I'll show you what the file, we use the cat command. Cat is it's very basic, but it's a really, really useful Linux command because it shows you out what the inside of any document looks like. So if I say cat top 100 domains.txt, and I get this long list. These are the top 100 most popular domains in the UK. Or if I'm really strictly speaking, there's only about 96, so I took out all the porno ones. But yeah, so these are the most popular websites in the UK. So we need to do what we've just done with the BBC domain, where we entered this command. We need to do that 100 times to get all these IP addresses and add them to our spreadsheet. So we're going to do that with what we call a for loop, which is, if you've ever done anything in programming, a for loop is basically a way of taking a command and then working through it again and again and again and again until you work your way through the list or the spreadsheet or whatever it is that you're looking through. So we do that with the word for. And for f, which is going to be the variable. Don't worry if this doesn't make sense yet. It will make sense when you see it. So I'll say for f in, and we're going to create another variable with cat. There we go. Sorry, I've made it really dark in here. I'm struggling to see my keyboard. So we say cats top 100. Whoops, excuse me. Right, for f in cat.
For those of you that are just following this for the first time, the things that Nix is doing are not advanced, but they are things that you can easily learn how to do. So while Nix is typing, I will paste this into the Slack. Into the chat. It's a link to our 10-minute tips. Now, in that 10-minute tips page, there is a bit.ly resource that will redirect you to a Google Doc. That Google Doc is one that has a section on Linux commands, and it shows you in 5 10-minute long videos how to use things like what Nix is showing you, grep and cut and all these types of commands in a quick, easy to use video that you can run yourself. So I will throw that onto the screen right here, osintcurio.us/10-minute-tips.
Okay.
This is always like a typing test here, right? It is. Take that entire command and retype it without making error.
I'm afflicted by a condition where if anyone is watching me, I lose the ability to type.
Yeah. So what does this do?
So what this is doing, so you can see what I've added at the start is a for loop, and what that's basically telling that script to do, that command to do, is go through every line of that file, top100domains.txt. That's the first part. I'll highlight it, then you can see it. This first part, we're saying go through that list, top100domains.txt, then do that dig command that we just did for BBC. But you see here, instead of putting the, we put variable f. So instead of saying bbc.co.uk and just doing it once, f will refer to whichever domain it's reading at the time. This is just.
Where does that f come from? Where's that?
Where, start what I've said here. So for f, so in the variable, that's what it's referring to. So if I call this, and I could call it anything, I could call it z, and then as long as that said z, that's all it would do.
Okay.
So this is adding a little bit of repetition. And then we've got the same command there, which hopefully I will find out if I've typed it correctly or not. I can already see a typo, which is the reality of using the command line. And then, so it's going through all the way through that whole list of 100 domains now, and is grabbing the IP addresses for all of them. So it pauses every so often because I'm making a lot of requests to the DNS server at once. The DNS server slows me down slightly so that I don't DDoS it. So now we've got a CSV file saved called allips.csv, and we can see that's what it looks like. So just by adding that little for loop to the start of the command, we've looked up 100 domains. Obviously, a lot of them have multiple IP addresses. And to do that, this is the advantage of command line stuff, I guess, because to have looked up that many domains with Vue DNS or any web-based tool, it's going to take you forever. Even if it only takes you like 10 seconds to do each one, it's still going to take you, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes to get through it all and get it accurate.
So let me ask you this, Nix.
Sure.
If you have that for loop that you just did, it essentially will do that type of lookup as many times as there are entries in that file that you specified, right? So if I had that for loop, then I just change what's in that file and say run that for loop, then it'll do it for the new domains, right?
That's right, yes. A for loop will run and run and run until it runs out of data. My record for doing this was earlier this year. I had 100,000 domains to look up in a spreadsheet. And so tell it to run the for loop through 100,000 domains, and it goes through 100,000 times and does it. It took about 2 days, but that's still an awful lot quicker than doing 100,000 domain lookups manually with a web browser, I guarantee you. So where was I? Yeah, so what I'll do, so what I'm going to do with this code, by the way, is I will either put it on our OSINT Curious blog probably later on this week, or I will upload it to GitHub and dump the link so that people can copy and paste it. If you want to follow along, excuse me. Somebody grab a drink.
Yeah. So many of you probably see those semicolons because the grep -v didn't actually work to remove those semicolons in there because Nix replaced the comma instead of a semicolon. So
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, see, you mess up, right? You have all of that. Now don't redo it. Don't redo it. But show us how to fix it. Show us how to clean up your mess, young man. How would you go ahead and replace all of the semicolons in that output file, the all IPs file? How would you replace all the semicolons?
So we could go through the file again and use the you translate again to replace all the where I put blank here, you could put semicolon and replace that with a comma or blank, or again, many different ways to do that. But this is the reality of writing very short scripts and commands. You make mistakes, especially when you're typing stuff live
on a live stream. Yeah, well done.
So that is kind of bulky. But what I want to do now is to show how we can clean up this CSV a little bit. So where have we gone? So this is what our CSV file looks like. I can't, because of how I've set up. If you open this in Excel or LibreOffice or something like that, you would see a spreadsheet with 5 columns on it. So we'd have the domain in column 1. We'd have this time number in column 2. We'd have in column 3. We'd have A in column 4. I would have the IP address in column 5. But if I'm honest, and I want to work with these domains, these 3 middle columns are of no use to me. So what we can do is run another Linux command through this spreadsheet, and we can cut out the columns that we can either cut out the columns that we don't want and transfer them somewhere else, or we can just select the columns that we do want and transfer them somewhere else, so we can work with them. So I'm only really interested in column 1 and column 5. And in Linux, there is a awesome command called cut. Yeah. So if I, where are we? If I use cat to look at my CSV again, and put the pipe in there again. So the output of the cat all IPs.csv gets passed the next command.
Actually, Nix, you don't even have to do that. You can just do cut and then the field and then the delimiter and then the name of the file. And so you don't have to cat it first.
Okay, so use cut.
Yep.
And delimiter. A delimiter is you're basically telling cut what separates the fields in this particular document. And because it's a CSV, we have to tell it that it's a comma. And we want fields. What did I say?
So we want each of the columns is a field. So the rollingstone.com, that host is a field. 299 is a field. So he's picking field 1, column 1, and column 5. So in an Excel spreadsheet, it would be column A and column E.
Yep. And then we wanted the file name. Was that right in the way you were going to do it?
Yeah, and then just specify all IPs.
Okay.
There you go. And when you hit it, there you go.
So now we've gone down to a 2-column spreadsheet.
Can you up arrow and just show us that command one more time?
Yeah, there's what it looks like.
Cool.
So yeah, so that's that's kind of very short. Look, Ryan's asked a question there. When you're in a law enforcement setting, how would you document or describe the steps you took in the command line? That's a really good question. So I have used these tools in law enforcement, and there are 2 ways. One is the easier way, which is you video record your screen as you're doing it so that everyone can see it. If I was doing it in a VM, you can see your command history. In fact, there's a history command, and you can see in order every command until I last cleared my history. You can see every command that I've entered as I've gone through this process here. So you could history and then export that to evidence.txt, and then you've saved that. You've got a saved record of all the commands that you've entered there. Is that useful?
I think so. What is that greater than or less than symbol? The angle bracket that you use, what does that do?
Yeah. So this is the fun of the command line. So any command you use, you can either just have it print in the terminal, or you can send it to a brand new document. So there, when in fact, let me go back. So if I just enter the history command by itself, it just prints it in the terminal. But if I don't want it just in the terminal, I can use the this arrow here. I forgot what the proper name for it is.
It's a redirector.
A redirect. That's it. The right pointy arrow.
Angle bracket. I always forget if it's less than or greater than. That lost meaning 30 years ago. Yeah.
We all know what it is.
Yeah. You do this with your hand. It's that way.
and then I can just call it to a file or whatever I want. So I just call it file, and you don't have to put .txt on the end. It doesn't really matter to Linux. And then you say that when I press that, then it didn't print in the terminal, but I will now have a document here called file.txt. So instead of putting all that information into the terminal, it just put it into a text file, which is where you document everything. Ryan asks, hash the resulting file you download to keep that integrity. Yes, I mean, and that's a given. If you're doing anything in law enforcement, all your digital documentation should be hashed, and there should be a record of your hashes with, so that people can view what you've done. In fact, I did a talk on that at SANS Summit a couple of years ago.
Not too long ago.
Not too long ago, recently. So let's clear all that stuff out. So that's how you can do that. So what I was going to show. So we've looked at how to get the data from Dig. We've looked at how to tidy that data up a little bit into a spreadsheet, how to automate it by using a for loop. So we can just go and have a cup of coffee whilst our computer's doing the hard work. And then how to tidy up that spreadsheet as well by stripping out some of the data that we wanted. And we don't really have time, but I will put this on. To type all that whole command out would be very, very laborious every time you wanted to do a domain. So it's possible to copy and paste that into a file called, just call it a little bash script. I haven't got time to show you how to turn that into a script, but it's very, very easy. And I will put a link to a script that will do that for you. But basically all that script is we'll take that command that I've entered there, and then you'll be able to point it at any list of domains that you've got anywhere, and it will do that process that I've just done for you. So it takes a few seconds to do what would take you minutes, hours ordinarily.
Cool. All right. Can I take the control back?
You can, yeah. I'm all done.
Awesome.
So yeah.
All right. So let me show one more thing. My screen's a little bit smaller here. Actually, let's make it a little bit bigger. Because I think for those people that may be just starting out, some of that might have been a little bit difficult, but let me just show you something. With most commands, like if we have the cut command on the command line, you can either do a -H to get help or ~help. And what it will do is it'll tell you all of the different things that it can do. Remember when Nix did his thing, it was cut -D for delimiter. Right there, it says, oh, enter a delimiter. Okay. He picked the fields and it tells you how to do the fields. Okay. And then it tells you each of the different things. For grep, I think I actually have to do, yeah, there you go. Grep ~help. Here's all of the different things that you can do. And it tells you up at the top what you should do. Here's grep, use options if you want. Put in the patterns and then the files. And these are the different things that you can do with that, whether it's a -V, which is that inverted match that Nix was showing you, or whether it was something like what Hatless Wonder was talking about with case insensitivity. We have the lowercase I, which is right up here, ignore case. These tools, if you know the right language for them, can be really, really useful. But it is like learning a different language. I don't know if you'd agree, Nix. You have to know the vocabulary, and you also have to know the grammar and the syntax, how to put it together. So,
yeah. But I will say once you kind of learned the Linux grammar, once you learn one command, the rest are easy. It's probably worth mentioning the man pages as well. So if you type man before any Linux command, it will bring up the user manual for that, which is even more in depth than the help file. If you type man grep, you'll get the user guide for grep. If you type man dig, you'll get the word for and so on.
Yep. And it actually gives you a lot of those same commands. These are manual pages, like Nix was saying, and these are something that is probably installed on your Linux, Mac, or Windows system when you install the tools. And these can help you learn what are all the different things I can do. When I was just coming up in the world of Linux, I was just overwhelmed with, okay, what is a grep and why do I need it? And I started reading through this and going, wow, look at this. I can just count the number of things there or other stuff. And at the bottom of the page, it says manual grep, page grep, press H for help or Q to quit. So I just hit Q and I'm back. So one thing I want to know right now, from those of you that are still here, the 30 of you that are still here, is this helpful to you? Do you want more of us, more of command line? Would you like us to go into Python? Not right now. We've run out of time for this session, but would you like us to dive deeper into this, into some of the others, in the other live streams? Because we can do Geoguessr and then get right into some of these command line tools that are free and they're powerful. Nix, one of the things I wanted to share is that I had 20 gigabytes worth of text files that I had to parse, and I had no tools except the Linux command line. And using just grep, I was able to find evidence of attack, of SQL injection, and some other attacks in these web logs. And it was pretty darn amazing. I think, looking at sorting, looking at uniquing, looking at cutting, you can be really, really powerful with very simple tools.
Yeah, and like you said, they have been around forever, like 30, 40 years, and that's because they work and they're stable and they're fast and no one's improved yet. So yeah, they're great to know.
Now, one thing that we should mention is that there are many ways to do this. Like Nix, when you did those digs and you put things into a file, you could have used something like VS Codium or some text editor to do those replacing of the blank spaces with commas and to do other stuff as well. Heck, maybe we'll show that too, taking that same use case and just applying different tools to show you can do all of this in Excel if you wanted. Cool. All right, so let's take a look at this. We've got some comments here. Something else to mention, Richie S says there's a cool site called Explain Shell. Ooh, I'm going to throw, oh, sorry. I'm going to throw that on there, Richie. Thank you. Explain Shell tells you what each of these things does. And people are saying, yeah, this is helpful. Cool. And Ryan says, what I'd be interested in learning about the planning phase. Okay, so when you're deciding to open the command line rather than jump into another search. All right, we can talk about that.
Do that.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. This is great. Thank you, Nix, for showing that. I've wanted to do this episode for a long time, and I think, you know, we could probably do much longer. This live stream is recorded for those of you that maybe found that to be a little bit challenging to follow while we were doing it live. It is recorded. This will be on both twitch.tv and our YouTube channel as well. So thanks, Steven. That was great.
All the commands I've done there, I will put in a readable format so you can follow through. I realized at first it's like trying to drink from a fire hose the first time you read a Linux script. But
absolutely.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Cool. I'll look forward to that. And for those of you that have been with us the whole time, thank you so much for helping us out for this last hour. We got a very respectable score on Geoguessr. I'm very proud of that. We were in all of the right countries, and we did a terrific job there. And then the shell here, these shell tools, just fabulous. So thank you for spending an hour with us. And you know what? Tomorrow, I'm not sure who's going to be here with me. Hang on. Let me just check real quick. I think tomorrow we're going to have myself and maybe Ginsburg, maybe Sector 035. So hilarity will ensue. Thanks so much for sharing your time, everybody. Thank you, Stephen Harris.
And thank you. Great time.
I think we just have to tell them to stay OSINT curious, right? All right. Do you want to say it or do you want me to say it?
You say it so well.
All right, everybody. Until tomorrow, stay OSINT curious. We'll see you tomorrow.